Hey y'all, welcome back to the Insurance Lounge with me, Tanya.
And me, Christy.
So today we want to talk to you guys about something that has coming up a lot more frequently lately. And that's the question that we get, right? So if I have the option to go online, maybe I can pay a little bit cheaper, not having to talk to someone, deal with an agent. So why not? Why not go with that model, right? Dealing with less people, um, and just get everything done online yourself. It just seems like a little bit quicker.
Seems
So
like an option.
yeah, seems like an
Well,
option.
let's talk about that.
Absolutely. And now, we want to disclose up front, of course, we are agents, so we might be biased, but we're going to do our best to share with you information today so that you can decide for yourself which option is better for you. So let's back away from insurance really quick. Let's talk about food, right? Who doesn't want to talk about food? If I want to know if you notice the same thing I've been noticing that a lot of restaurants lately um, are still charging a premium price, even though they had changed their business model, had cut out staff, so there will be no more hostess. Now, if we go in and order our food, a lot of restaurants will have those big
We got the little
kiosks, right?
kiosk. Yep.
Yep, that
Yep.
popped up now. So we order our food, we grab our own food, we fill up our own drinks, and if we fill, we got to clean it up ourselves
And
before
don't
we.
forget, let's tip on
Oh
that
yeah,
experience. Let's leave them a tip.
let's leave them a tip too on top of the premium prices that we have to pay for food today,
Mhm.
right? So to me, honestly, Christy, I mean, of course, it depending on what time of the day, where you are, right? And these different restaurant choices could fit your situation and whatever you need at the time. Now, that's fine, but imagine if this is all the model that we're all going towards,
Yep.
right? So
That's
we
not
know,
service, right? That's not
no,
service.
no, that's me stopping by a vending machine almost and grabbing food. I mean, it may as well be that, I
Just
think.
at a lot more expensive price. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want you to really think about that. And because it is kind of similar to buying insurance online.
Yeah.
All right.
Where you can go and buy a policy online. Absolutely, right? But
Mhm.
now you're choosing your own coverages. You're doing that without any expert advice. So you're kind of guessing. I mean, maybe you know a little bit about it, but likely you don't know, all the different state guidelines and company guidelines of the company that you're dealing with. You're having to make sure that you check all the boxes and get everything right, so you don't make a mistake that might end up costing you more money lately. What else? And then, oh, let's don't forget, now on the back end, you have no one to service it for you and manage it for you. You're doing all that on your own as well.
Absolutely. And a lot of times, what I do see coming back is, the carrier might cancel your policy after a few days because you didn't fill out something correctly and
Correct.
their
Yep.
website didn't prompt you that, that you needed to provide that information. Well, you didn't have an agent to notify you. And you know what? If you're kind of like me, sometimes when I got something done, I'm like moving on to my next project, Christy.
For sure. I think we're all guilty of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you didn't check, right? And then another thing that if you didn't get your coverage canceled or terminated on you, the price may have changed, maybe
Correct.
because there was another driver that they found that's supposed to be tied to your household that needs to either be included or excluded,
Or
but
excluded, right? Yep.
but you didn't know about that, and that's okay, and you didn't know to correct that, and your price will change. So
Yeah.
that really, we're trying to save time and have a good buying insur or, buying experience when it comes to insurance. Sometimes that can put a damper on things.
Yeah. Well, and I think the real point is self-service is fine, but insurance isn't about when everything goes right, right? It's supposed to be there for you when something goes wrong. So when
Mhm.
you've done that all of yourself and you don't have that person, that agent there for you to help make sure that all the I's got dotted and the T's got crossed and the coverage is, priced as expected and staying in place, now it's claim time, and who's going to advocate for me? Who's going to help me make a decision about whether I need to file a claim or not? Who's going to, help me make sure that I avoid mistakes in the claim process?
Now, I do want to clarify something on that point too, Christy. The difference between a licensed agent or like, you work with a company that has an agent like you or me, right?
Yeah,
Is many insurance carriers that have that online only model, sure, they would have a call center. Um,
sure.
but oftentimes, this is where the difference is. An agent that you talk to that's licensed to speak and that can give insurance advice is somebody who is licensed. A lot of the time, call center representatives are called representative for a reason. They do not
Yep,
have to be licensed to be assisting customer with, basic inquiry. What's wrong with my bill? Can you check on when my
sure.
bill is due? Things like that. But when things get a little bit hairier, when it has to do with coverages, um, you're not gonna be able to get that kind of advice that you're looking
Right.
for.
So you're going to
Uh,
have waited in that call queue for someone to answer the phone, only to have that person not really be able to fully help you,
Absolutely. And
potentially.
yeah, and from time to time you might get transfer around a couple times, right?
Hmm.
And retelling your stories, let's say 5 times, and the
Yeah.
issue is still not resolved. We've
So
all been there,
frustrating. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
We've all been there. We know we don't like that. So
yeah,
that's another thing to think about too. When you have to use your insurance, what's the back end customer service going to be like?
yeah.
And I'm not going to be biased here. I'll tell you, Christy, as a customer, you should also hold your agent, and you work with an agent, to the same standard, if you're
Absolutely.
working with an
Absolutely.
agent. Um, a good agent should be there for you and should be able to understand what situation you are in and give you the proper advice. That's what a good agent would do.
You got it. Yep. And I think that people think that it's going to be less expensive to go the online route, but I really find it's not that much less.
It really isn't, if for those who know how commissions work with insurance agents, that there's only a small percentage of the premium goes back to the agent because the rest of it, just like any other insurance company, it pays for the whole operation. It pays for their claim team. It
Right.
pays for their underwriter. It pays for all the paperwork that they print
And
out
all
and
that
mail to
stuff
you.
still exists in the online model. Right. Yep.
Absolutely. So if you really take the smallest portion that is going to the agent, in all honesty, I don't believe that that is a really big discount to you
Right.
as a consumer, because really what you're not paying for is sometimes is something you really need, like you're paying for good advice.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Right? So now, of course, self-service insurance company exists, right? It works for a lot of people, right? We're not saying those companies are not good company. This is just
Sure.
strictly from a customer insurance experience, right? So,
Right.
personally, we feel that, there's nothing wrong with self-service insurance, right, Christy?
If you're sure that you're getting the right thing, the right amount of coverage, the right kind of coverage, then yes.
Yeah, and then also depending on your stage of life too, are you just starting out and you start building? If that's the case and your main objective is, hey, I'm a young driver, I really don't have a lot yet and I can barely pay my bills, right?
Then absolutely a self-service model really might be okay for that person. But once you've accumulated a little bit that needs to be protected, you've gotten to a stage in life where you want a little more concierge type of service and consultation, then I think that breaks down pretty quickly.
Absolutely, Christy. And here's my bias part coming in. If you are paying a insurance company with your real money, why would you not want real service?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So if you are paying the insurance carrier with real money, why would you not want real service for when you need it? So if you guys liked the episode from today and you found it helpful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you have a friend that can use this advice, please feel free to share. And If you have a question about your policy, because maybe you bought it online and you want to call an agent, but you don't have one,
I'll help.
yep, you can call us at any time. So until next time, we'll see you then.
Bye bye.